Hi guys, we're back. We're gonna read the chapters one at a time. So I'm gonna upload them one at a time now. So again, before I start each reading, I have to thank the Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company um, because they're the ones who published the book. So we are on chapter 4 of A Long Walk to Water. And here's the cover, because I don't know if I showed you guys the cover last time. Okay, chapter 4, Southern Sudan, 2008. Naya's mother took the plastic container from her and emptied the water into 3 large jars. She handed Naya a bowl of boiled sorghum meal and poured a little milk over it. Naya sat outside in the shade of the house and ate. When she was done, she took the bowl back inside. Her mother was nursing the baby, Naya's little brother. Take Akir with you, her mother said, nodding toward Naya's little sister. Glancing at her younger sister, Naya did not say what she was thinking. What Akir, that Akir, who was only 5 years old, was too small and walked too slowly. She needs to learn, her mother said. Naya nodded. She picked up the plastic container, took Akir by the hand. Home for just long enough to eat, Naya would now make her second trip to the pond. To the pond and back, to the pond and back. Nearly a full day of walking altogether. This was Naya's daily routine for 7 months out of the year. Daily, every single day. Southern Sudan, 1985. Salva held his breath as he scanned the faces, one by one. Then the air left his lungs and seemed to take all hope with it. Strangers, no one from his family. The old woman came up from behind him and greeted the group. Where are you going? She asked. The few of the people exchanged uneasy glances. There was no reply. The woman put her hand on Salva's shoulder. This one is alone? Will you take him with you? Salva saw doubt on people's faces. Several men at the front of the group began speaking to each other. He is a child. He will slow us down. Another mouth to feed. It is already hard enough to find food. He is too young to do any real work. He'll be of no help to us. Salva hung his head. They would leave him behind again, just as the others had. Then a woman in the group reached out and touched the arm of one of the men. She said nothing, but looked first at the man and then at Salva. The man nodded and turned to the group. We will take him with us, he said. Salva looked up quickly. A few in the group were shaking their heads and grumbling. The man shrugged. He is Dinka, he said, and began walking again. The old woman gave Salva a bag of peanuts and a gourd for drinking water. He thanked her and said goodbye. Then he caught up with the group, determined not to lag behind, not to complain, not to be any trouble to anyone. He did not even ask where they were going, for fear that his questions would be unwelcome. He knew only that they were Dinka and they were trying to stay away from the war. He had to be content with that. The days became a never-ending walk. Salva's feet kept time with the thoughts in his head. The same words over and over. Where is my family? Where is my family? Every day he woke and walked with the group, rested at midday, and walked until dark. They slept on the ground. The terrain changed from scrub to woodland. They walked among stands of stunted trees. There was little to eat, a few fruits here and there, always either unripe or worm rotten. Salva's peanuts were gone by the end of the third day. After about a week, they were joined by more people, another group of Dinka and several members of a tribe called Chakal, men and women, boys and girls, old and young, walking to nowhere. Salva had never been so hungry. He stumbled along somehow, moving one foot ahead of the other, not noticing the ground he walked on, or the forest around him, or the light in the sky. Nothing was real except his hunger, once a hollow in his stomach, but now a deep buzzing pain in every part of him. Usually he walked among the Dinka, but today, shuffling along in a daze, he had fallen a little behind. Walking next to him was a young man from the Jurkal. Salva didn't know much about him, except that his name was Butska. As they walked along, Butska slowed down. Salva wandered sluggishly if they shouldn't try to keep up a bit better. Just then, Butska stopped walking. Salva stopped too, but he was too weak and hungry to ask why they were standing still. Butska cocked his head and furrowed his brow, listening. They stood motionless for several moments. Salva could hear the noise of the rest of the group ahead of them, a few faint voices, birds calling somewhere in the trees. He strained his ears. What was it? Jet planes? Bombs? Was the gunfire getting closer instead of farther away? Salva's fear began to grow until it was even stronger than his hunger. Then, a slow smile spread over Butska's face. There, you hear? Salva frowned and shook his head. Yes, there it is again. Come. Butska began walking very quickly. Salva struggled to keep up. Twice, Butska paused to listen, and then they kept going even faster. What? Salva started to ask. Butska stopped abruptly in front of a very large tree. Yes, he said. Now, go call the others. By now, Salva had caught a feeling of excitement. But what shall I tell them? The bird, the one I was listening to, he held me tight. He held me right here. Butska's smile was even bigger now. You see that? He pointed up to the branches of the tree. A beehive, a fine, large one. Salva hurried off to call the rest of the group. He had heard of this, that the jackal could follow the call of a bird called the honey guide, but he had never seen it done before. Honey, this night they would feast.